Hello, welcome to Clarity Live. God, sorry about that. Can we start again?
Right, rewind.
Hello, and welcome to Clarity Live Social TV. My name is Barbara Gray, and this is Paul.
Hello.
Hiya. We were clowning around before, and then we got caught out because we've reduced the countdown to 10 seconds.
And I said, "Boy, it's quicker than a minute."
So here we are. It's 2:00 in the afternoon in England. Thank you for your company. We've got something very exciting to show you. Very Linda Williams,
Definitely
designy. And Paul is in the driver's seat, and I'm just going to ask some questions.
You're just going to say silly questions. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's the idea, because if we've got some of our friends tuning in for the first time, or they're new to Groovi and Parchment, then they want to be asking the questions, and obviously they can do that in the chat as well.
Exactly. So you can come in on the chat and ask, and then Jazz, who's in the gallery, she will forward the questions to me, and of course, then if I know the answer, I'll tell you, and if I don't, I'll ask Paul.
And it's all about the interaction, isn't it? And you were talking earlier, Barbara, about sort of like spreading the word and the love,
exactly.
and sharing everything out there.
And also, if you are watching on Facebook, I'm sure that in the chat there will be plenty of our experts. We'll have plenty of the design team in there. They'll be asking the questions because they're all on board too. And I can already see Josie Davison there. Clarity Jazz is there. And I'd be surprised if Linda's not in there too today.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Linda herself. There she is. Good afternoon, as if on cue. So Linda's there as well. I tell you what, do us a favour, just ask Linda the question.
Yeah, ask Linda's there, she'll answer.
Right, now, some housekeeping first.
Absolutely.
So we want to talk first about how you can shop with us. This is definitely our selling platform at 2:00 this afternoon. This morning you were in the shack, Groovi Tuesday, which is more...
It's more about karma and sort of education, and sort of, it's like a craft along, isn't it? Same as like in the shack when you're doing that on a Monday.
That's right.
You're doing it together.
So at 10:00 in the morning, it's more relaxed and more community centric.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same in the shack.
Yeah.
Then in the afternoon, it's more celly-centric, right?
Absolutely.
And so today we've got these wonderful plates. You've already got ahead of us on the internet, and you've been shopping. You've already been shopping, for which we're very grateful.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at the plates in a moment. But first, we just want to talk about how to shop. So on the screen, you can see down here, you can see it says www.claritycrafts.com. That's our website, and you can go straight to the website and order directly there, or you can call the phone number, which is also on your screens, 01732 868 215, and you'll be able to speak to our Sue in the call centre, in our UK call centre downstairs. So and if it gets busy on the phones, then that phone goes to Pete, who's over there. So it's definitely in-house. It's very much in-house. And Dave, as we speak, is downstairs, down here, and he's making the plates. There we go. So yeah, so it's all good.
It is, and so it means we can bring you new stuff. I mean, I spoke it this morning in Groovi Tuesday, that you had an idea last night. You spoke to the team this morning, and you've already seen the prototypes, and it's going into production already.
I just had a meeting with Lisa, and it's fantastic. I'm so excited. I can't wait till Friday to show you, which is why I'm a bit flustered as well, because I got really stoked about, it's very, very exciting. It's a new adventure, let's say. It's a new adventure. Now, also, the other thing I want to do is if we could just look at the screen here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap with you, Paul.
Okay.
There you go. So now...
I'm here. You're there.
There we go. It's very confusing from where I'm standing.
I know, because it's all really reversed, isn't it?
If we look at the screen here, you can see there's a number, 42405. So that, whatever's on the screen, on the online on-screen graphics, this is the product code, and that's all you need. Then coming down a little bit, you can see the graphic, the actual image of the product that you're buying. If you come down a little further, there will be a description which will tell you exactly what it is you're buying. And then a little bit further down, you'll see the prices. So here, for example, you can see that there's been a price scored out, which is the RRP, the retail price.
Yeah.
And then next to it in red, you'll see what you're saving, which seems to be a £9 saving on this bundle.
It is.
And then down the bottom, you'll see this is what you're actually going to be paying, which is £21.96. But that does not include your Clarity Club discount. So depending on whether you're in 1, 2 or 3 clubs, you will save 10%, 12.5% or 15%. That'll be a further savings on that price.
That price, absolutely.
So that's quite substantial. Okay, so just to recap, you've got your product code at the top, you've got the product image there, you've got the description, you've got the savings, and then you've got the price at the bottom. All you need to do really is, if you like, you just have a piece of paper and a pen, and you can jot down the numbers.
Yeah.
Or you can and then ring Sue afterwards. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Just jot down those 5-digit numbers, and she will be able immediately, because she's got a list of what we're selling here. Right. And then other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's just searching for that. If you're going online, just put those digits in, it'll bring it up straight away.
Yeah.
And build your basket whilst you're watching.
And Jazz in the gallery, she'll be bringing up those images here. As Paul, if she can get in Paul's head, I tell you what, she's faster than he is.
I know.
Right, move over, back to back to plan A.
Back to plan A.
Right.
Hello.
Now, hi there. I feel more comfortable in this place. What I would say is that now it would be a good idea to actually look at the product.
Yeah.
And then let's take a look at the product first. So if we look here, we've got two sets of
Yes.
We've got 2 pairs of plates here. So if you like, they're individually available too. These 2 go together and those 2 go together, right? But we're actually offering them at a very good bundle at £9 off. And you can see here, it's 424.05 for the whole bundle. These have been designed by Linda herself. And we can see, if we look at the lower A5 square plates, these are nested frilly lace framers, and they're very different. They're not just the same thing, reduced and reduced again. Every one of them gives you a different frill. When we look at the samples and the design team examples, you will be absolutely blown away by them, right? So we've got a circular one, and we've got a square one. Now at the top, we've got smaller baby plates. If you're looking at the starter kit, for example, our starter kit, both of these plates will sit perfectly within the plate mate on the starter kit. So if you've got that, you don't need an additional plate mate for this.
No.
Right?
That's right.
So this is the bundle. And Paul just wants to show you on the overhead we want to show a couple of samples,
yes,
don't
and
we?
Definitely some artwork from the design team. So we've put this collection here together. So you've got the little baby plate, which is Linda's floral sampler. And when you look at the artwork, you can see here. So it's look at the outside frame. So if I pop that over there, you can see you've got that there. So that's taken the second one in. Then it's been turned around and the third one's been used. And then the plate, only 3 sections of it have been used.
So the tiles, like little mosaic
similar
tiles.
to the tiles you were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
In there.
So if I were to take that one, for example, this one is by Hazel Edwards.
Yeah.
So we took that little tag there. Now let's take a look at this and compare that.
Okay, so one side, the length, it's just one, and then it's been shortened because we know from squares we could turn that into a rectangle.
Exactly.
We could have it as a border, and then just taking the flowers either in the squares or take them out.
How nice is that? I mean, that's the magic of Groovi, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that you can just take what you want and leave the rest behind. So if you don't want the outer square, you just don't use it. You just use the images. Isn't that lovely? Right. I just want to show these little fellas off as well. Obviously, they must be from Hazel too.
Yeah.
I think they come in the same set. What a lovely look on our infusion paper. Just a little die cut. Isn't that gorgeous for a tag?
Yeah, so for your presents. So it's about gifting as well as making your cards as well.
So if we look at this, you can see here, we've got love you. Nope.
Love
you.
Okay.
Mix and match.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to explain how you don't have to settle for what you've got. You can, you know, so you just use love you. There we are.
Yeah.
Really lovely. If we take this one, let's see where we can, where's this one then? There it is there.
Yeah.
There it is
and
there.
the one above.
And the one above.
The little bumblebee.
Is with the little bumblebee there. So, and this one here, is that one there?
Yeah.
So I think it's great when you actually take these little images and you see exactly, look, just for you, it comes as it comes.
Angle, I quite like them as a diamond as well.
So as soon as she does that at an angle like that, look, Hazel gets a completely different look. So interesting, very interesting.
And it's nice to see what the design team have done in the different options.
So at the moment, we're just looking at the square with the square tiles.
Yes.
Right. Well, should we look at a couple more samples?
Yeah.
So this is a lovely one from Karen Jackson.
So this is quite nice. So that's just taking the plate in relation to the grid system, just done all of the boxes. So 4, 8, 12, 16 boxes. And then she's chosen the same flower in all 4 of them. For the corners. Now this you could do with the basic grids that we showcased on Friday.
Yeah, fabulous.
And if you've got it in conjunction with the book from Linda that I know many of our friends at home did.
As if by magic. Oh, looky.
There you go. So you've got the bundle where you get the plates.
So the bundle number up here is 21224, and there you get this fantastic book with the 2 grids as well. Can I just interject here?
Definitely.
So you can see here, these are straight and diagonal grids, just in case you didn't notice, you didn't see this the first time. And I think it was Friday we did.
It was Friday.
So if you get a chance to go to the website on our catch-up TV, you'll be able to see we did quite an in-depth demonstration of how this works.
Just on one of them,
just on this particular one. So this is a fantastic, very comprehensive guide on how to use diagonal grids, how to use straight grids, and you've got your 2 mini grids included in that bundle too. And there it is on the screen now for you, 21224, and that comes to you with a £6 saving, £25.97. Plus, of course, your club discount. So back to you, Virgil.
Okay, so there was another sample I wanted to share. I think it was the next one down. There we go. Let's have a look at this one because
this one is by Jill Ascombe.
Okay, so this one's quite interesting. It doesn't look anything like the plate at all, does it? Because you've got like these bubbles going around the outside.
That's right.
So what Jill's done, she's taken the plate. She's used the second one in. Okay, so you can see there. So
that one there.
Gone all the way around.
Yeah.
And then, so there it is there. And then she slid it down, for example.
Oh, and then she's used it to make the circle.
To create the...
Isn't that clever?
So it's like the innie and the outie, so to speak.
So she's made... they're colouring opportunities now, aren't they? But they could also be cutting opportunities. Once you close up an area like that. So when does your frilly lace become... like rounds?
Yes.
You know, it's very lovely.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could probably do, you could definitely do it on all of those, depending on the size you're working on.
Especially the way you've just explained, how you take this and then you move it down and then you complete your circle down here.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, very good indeed.
And it'd make a nice border as well, just down the edge of your
just
card.
Just a panel, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So here's a little masterpiece by Jill Ascombe again. Let's just take a look at that one because it's rather beautiful.
So Jill has just taken the plate exactly how it comes. If I lay that over the top, no thinking about it, trace it out exactly how it comes, introduce the nested squares that go around the outside. And
then use those 2 over the top of that.
Yeah.
So that's it, as it comes. Mind you, we make that sound simple. just enjoy that colouring. Look at that. I know.
Jill is lovely for painting on the front, like Francis Knott.
Yeah, but look at that, and that's just using that one little tile.
And that's sort of achievable, isn't it? If you're looking to start out with your colouring, a small piece of artwork is more achievable than a larger piece.
Just as it comes.
Yeah.
and then just as it comes.
Yeah.
And would you use A5 parchment for that?
Yeah, that would be fine, because what Jill's done is she's actually pico cut. But even if you was using standard A5 parchment, because these are an A5 square plate, that would just give you, and you just trim down the side.
Perfect.
For a square.
Okay, so that, let's just take a look at that pair together.
Yeah.
So we've got the square frilly plate, and we've got the there it is. That pair together is on the screen now, 42404. And you have a £3 savings there, and that brings it in at 12.48. Now let's just hold that thought.
Okay.
So that's the £3 saving there.
Yeah.
So now if I take the next set, we've got the circular one.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Christmas, the C is for Christmas, which is really lovely, right? So that one has a different code on it. That code as a bundle is
on your screen.
On your screens.
It was. Jazz was in our heads already.
Oh no, let's go back to just this pair. There it is. So this pair is 42403, right?
Yeah.
And again, we see here a £3 savings.
Yes.
What I wanted to show before we look at this artwork and indulge that is if you now take the pair, what you're going to get is that £3 savings, that £3 savings. If you bought all of these together, then the code is 42405, and you'll see now you've got 3, 6 and a further £3, and that's where it comes in at a £9 savings, which is why you're actually just spending £21.96 for all 4 of them, plus your club discount.
Absolutely.
And now I'm going to apply for a job at a real TV channel.
And Jazz is good as well. I told you, she's in your head, isn't she?
She's really good, isn't she?
I know.
So we've looked at the square with the tiles, and now we're looking at these two.
That's right.
Are you cool with that?
Yep.
Paul?
So the C is for Christmas. Now, for those of our friends at home that bought the Linda's Floral Alphabet, it's along the same style, but the C is different to the C in that alphabet.
Let's just take a look at this artwork. Excuse me a moment. This is Julie Campbell's. Okay. So let's just, the reason I'm picking this one to start with is because it really shows you the shape of the, it's a very Times Roman.
It is. Yes, it's really, really nice. And you've got that lovely open space.
Yeah.
But when we look at the border around the outside, the plate is circular.
Yes.
So what Julie's done, she's just used one corner.
Yeah.
So if I take that corner, so I'm guessing Julie would have done the 4 corners first, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then done the next one to come in from that side, and then filled in the middle with a decorative element from the plate.
And do you think that she will have found that square, because you've got to start somewhere?
Yeah.
She would have found that square in the starter kit in the nested squares. Do you think that would fit?
Yeah, either the nested squares or possibly the Pico squares.
Yeah, I mean, you need a straight line from somewhere, don't you? I don't have my starter kit to hand. Do you have your starter kit?
One? No.
Not to worry. We'll always have that on the show from now on. But if we take a look at another piece of artwork now, maybe you could just talk us through this one.
So the outside on this one is using the square, and then the corner has been taken from here to create these little panels.
Colouring opportunities.
Yeah, and then the circle is that second one in, like so.
Yeah. See, what I really love about these frilly...
this is quite good. Look, it's for Christmas. It's wrapped around the inside.
Isn't that
I've
pretty?
just noticed that.
Let's come up. Let's offer it up to the camera so you could see that. There, look. C is for Christmas. Doesn't that look delightful?
Yeah.
And also, when you take this one here, let's see whereabouts is she.
That's the second one
as it comes, just like that. Look, just as it comes. Isn't that superb?
These are really sort of ornate but an essential frames, aren't they, that would work with many of the other plates you've got in your collection.
And what I love about this as well is there's just dots everywhere, white dots.
Yes.
Like snow. This is a nice one. This is Josie Davidson's, very red, very trad, right? And again, if you look here, she's taken that same frame here, hasn't she? Yeah.
And the pattern in the middle would be done from the basic grids.
From the basic grids again, she's taken the basic grids over the straight. Just talk among yourselves for a minute.
So you can fill in like we can there. So we could use Linda's pattern book to put a design in. I would say that's probably the straight grid, just at an angle.
Yep, it is.
So you can see, and then cut. It's like candy cane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. Very nice. And then this is another one by Carol Pankstello. So she's done a really delightful glittery offering. And if we look up high, if we can bring it in, you can see how she's filled the sea, because it's big and bold. You can fill the sea with beautiful patterns. So she's put stars in there. But what is glorious is what Linda's designed around the back of that sea.
That lovely sort of Christmas rose, isn't
that
it?
Just beautiful? Look. And she's got her is for Christmas. She's positioned it there.
Yeah.
So if you actually look at the plate, it's a moving feast, isn't it? If we take that sea, right, she's used the plate exactly as it comes, look.
Yeah.
All she's done is move the is for Christmas up.
Yeah.
There.
We were talking this morning,
Very
C's for
achievable.
clarity as well.
For clarity.
We had cake, we had chocolate.
Yeah. Creativity.
Creativity, yeah.
So there's another lovely one. Sorry, I forgot to look at the back. Glynis's.
So this time Glynis has taken the nested square frilly lace framer to create her piece. It's on 2 layers, 2 different colours of parchment. She'd added in some white work into that area as well.
Yeah, I love that look.
And it's Glynis often does this with like the multi-needle tool. Like if you've used the moon, where you get the perforations and then you fill in into those areas.
Doesn't that look gorgeous?
But it gives a completely different look, doesn't it?
I think this is one of the best things about these frilly frames, is that if you look at the actual, there's a little gap in there. So if you use the number 2, this is me, like basic knowledge. Yeah. You'd use the number 2 tool or the number 3 tool to give you a really soft outer edge, and then it will be really easy to emboss and get that lovely white infill. Is that right?
Yeah, so that you don't get the prominent whiteness of the tracing out.
That would be the key, wouldn't it? When you trace this out, rather than use the number 1 tool, which would give you a really crisp outline, which is what you probably want if you're going to color it in, right? If you're going to color it in like that one, then you probably want to use the number 1 tool, right?
Yes.
But if you wanted to do white work like these, then you probably want to use the number 2 or even the number 3 tool.
Yes.
So when you're embossing it, you get
you don't see, and you get that softness, don't you?
You get it's smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so Paul, how's that?
That's perfect. I think it shows our friends at home some ideas and inspiration as well, doesn't it?
It does. I think you'll see that these plates, I mean, apart from being fantastic value for money, they're brilliant designs as well.
They are.
You know, Linda's really out. And what I love about this as well, right, apart from the fact that she's my best mate, what I love about this is that it's a very affordable, there's so much mileage in these plates when you look.
I think that's the thing with Groovi. When Linda comes up with designs, Jazz comes up with designs, we could have given you just sort of like a basic shape or something like that. But to give it into the different layers, to give it that versatility, really does give value for money.
And that little square, right, there's another little piece of artwork we've got to show you. You know, talk about mileage, hour for hour, pound for pound. Check out this little box. So this little box, do we know who made this?
There was no name on it. It was just in the box of samples. Right. So I made it up this morning. I'm sure one of our design team.
This will be a Hazel, is it a Hazel Edwards one? Looks like her kind of thing. So you can see here, it's a tiny little box, okay? And in fact, I'm going to place it down here. Let's see if I go to this camera. Oh, look at that little dinky thing.
And I reckon that would hold, to give it some size comparison, one Ferrero Rocher.
Or, no, I like Lindor. I'm a Lindor girl. You know the one?
Yeah.
I'm not a Ferrero Rocher girl. But so if we have a look now at this from this angle, you can see, now by comparison, let me pop this box in. This is the one that we were looking at, the ones that Dave cuts out, that we were looking at yesterday.
Yes.
So you can see how rinky dink that is, right? And actually, it comes, Jazz has already beaten us to it. You can see here, it's a mini cue box, and it's got that little butterfly in it as well.
So the butterfly die is separate, so you can position that or use it in cards
or
separately.
not use it. It's just a little, it's a little butterfly that you can ping off or not.
Yeah.
But when it comes, it cuts and leaves the body in.
It
so
does.
It brings the wings out, just like this, which is really neat, right? And the number for that is 31185. For this little box. So these would be lovely little treats, you know, for the family.
Yeah.
And really easy. And all she's used is this little plate to make, look.
Make the panels.
I mean, that's really nice. No cutting required. You can snip those with scissors.
Yep, absolutely.
You know? Isn't that lovely?
So I thought that was a nice little way of just showing off that little floral sampler. And in comparison, when you look at the ones that Dave does,
so these are already pre-cut because a die would cost so much.
Yeah,
they're already pre-cut, and not everybody wants to spend that kind of money on a die. This bundle is 31160. If you want to get 10 of these already pre-cut, all you've got to do, they come flat packed. You can decorate them, assemble them, and that's for 4 Lindors.
I wouldn't give anyone 4 chocolates. 1 I'd get away with, but not 4.
I tell you what. So this is a Christmas treat that I always give. They're really beautiful truffle, French champagne truffles, chocolate.
Yeah,
right. They're very nice, and I like the colours of the box. They cost a lot of money, right? And you get about 5 champagne truffles in this really beautiful deluxe box. Really nice. And I know you're not getting any because Paul.
They're too fancy.
They're too fancy. I've tried to give him nice chocolates, and it's like pearls to swine.
Cadbury's, Galaxy.
That's it.
Probably Ferrero Rocher is probably the most
available.
It's probably my most luxurious chocolate.
I don't know.
That's all right. If you get any for Christmas, you know where to.
Okay, so where would you like to start?
Okay, so I thought we'd have a look at a couple of pieces that Linda has very kindly prepared for us, and we're going to concentrate on one. Now, one of the more recent additions to the Clarity TV shows are the demo downloads as well on the website.
Good prompt.
You can tell we work well together.
Yeah, because we've had this idea. So for years, we've trundled up to the TV. Do you know what? I woke up this morning and I thought, I'll never have to go on the M11 up to Peterborough again.
No.
Oh, what a result.
Can you imagine how many hours we sat in traffic on that M11?
I've
M25.
lost hours and hours, days, us two, in the car. I mean, we've had good conversations.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a bit of a time suck, wasn't it? And then the traffic. Oh, the traffic.
Do you remember that?
The Dartford Tunnel.
On the sat nav was trying to take us off, and we said, "Should we?" No. And we went round this corner on the M11, and as we went round the corner, it just sat there.
It was a wall, wasn't
it was like an hour and a half.
Oh, we've been in traffic for 6 and 7 hours.
Yeah.
So, and I thought this morning, we'll never have to do that. But what we always used to do, right? We used to make the demonstrations, and we used to prepare it to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And then we'd write out in detail producer notes so that the producer would know what we were using.
Yeah.
We'd have photographs so that we knew what we were doing, blah, blah, blah. It never really was used apart from on the hour by the producer.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. But we used to make it easy for the producer to be able to find what we were reaching for, just like Jazz now. So then we had this idea, the royal we, said, right, well, why don't we take that, because we still continue doing that, but use it for a download so that we can put the catch-up on our television, on our website.
Yeah.
So you could go and watch on our website. Did you fire up your...
I'll just pop downstairs. Hang on. Back again.
I know. All right, Sam. So what we've done is we've got an area on the website, and we're tweaking it, and we're improving. We're improving it as we speak. We're just day on day. We're seeing better ways to do it. And there's an area on the website. It's called Clarity TV. And then
when it loads.
All right. So and keep talking. Oh,
there we go.
Right. So you can see here, it says Clarity TV here. But then if I come down a bit further, it says Clarity TV Catch Up and Craft Watch Now.
Yeah.
So we can either go in the top one or that one.
That one.
We'll catch you twice, right? to be sure.
Yeah.
And then if you click there, what you'll find here is exactly, here we are at the moment at 2 o'clock with Barb and Paul, or Paul and Barb.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you click that, you can rewatch it. So if you didn't watch it, obviously you might be watching this on catch up. You might already know that.
Yeah.
But what's great is here we've got the 2 downloads. So you can see we've got See Us for Christmas. Linda made these for us. And then we created the downloads. And literally it says what was made and what was used with links on the website. And they are available for you to just print off. So that means if you really like these ideas that Paul's going to share with you, then you can go back to that and you can find that download. Here it is, like that. Look, there's a print off. And then over here is the second one. So say Paul doesn't get to this today, right? I don't know, which one are you going for first?
This one.
That's the first one, is it?
That's the first one. I reckon this will be the only one.
Okay, so you can see here, there's the download, there's a picture of it. So that means that you can download, you can build a little library of all the different projects. So we've always been about education, education, you know. On Sundays, sorry to go on, but like every Sunday we do a blog.
Yes.
We do a
Clarity Matters blog.
Clarity Matters blog.
Yeah.
And one of the Clever Design team does a really beautiful step-by-step, and it just hats off to these ladies, you know, they just do it for the love of it, for us and for you. And these are free. So there's a formidable library stretching out of step-by-step photos. So if you're getting into Groovi, then that's a great place to go to.
It is, because it's all, they do all different techniques
and stampy stuff as well.
And it's all about sort of, it's pictorial and written as well.
Yeah, so you've got photo step-by-steps and it's written. And now we've got these downloads. So it's a real reference library. It's a place to go to, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
You know? So there's a lot to be said. I think that we try really hard. We're not just selling you product.
No, it's never been that way. No. It?
We design it, we make it.
Yeah.
Then we show you what to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. And this is our latest offering on showing you what to do. It's what was made in the TV show in Catch Up and what was used. So you've got a shopping list straight away.
Absolutely. And so you click those links on there and it will just take you, obviously not when you've printed it off, it doesn't work on paper, but when it's online, on the screen, and it will just take you straight there.
That's it. And it gives you the codes as well, so you haven't got to dig around. It's just all written out for you. So you think, oh, do you know what? Say you don't buy these today and you think, oh, a month from now, you think, oh, I wish I bought those Frilly plates. Yeah. And you can scroll down through the catch up and you'll find them.
Or if you printed them off, you just flick through your book, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Marvellous. Okie dokie.
Right.
It's Hazel's box. I was right.
I thought you was going to say that.
It was Hazel's box. I said it was Hazel's little box.
Yeah, it was a Hazel thing, wasn't it?
I know, Hazel.
Right. Okay. So let's have a look at this piece of artwork that Linda has let's have a look at both of them in the flesh, so to speak. So we've got the C is for Christmas, and that's using the circular plate around the outside. If I bring that up, look at that sparkle.
Glitter.
Yeah, so that's our Pergamano.
Did Linda make this one?
Yeah.
Cool.
She made both of them. So, and staged it all very kindly for us as well.
Do you know it was our birthday on Sunday?
No.
Yo.
21.
31.
31. And then this one here, more sort of soft and natural, but using our doodle dies as well. So we was using the doodle dies yesterday.
That's right.
And what Linda's done, she's just taken 4 of those little designs in the middle, framed it, and then die cut onto there.
Yeah.
So this could be one card on its own if you wanted to. A lovely little 4x4 card blanks.
Yeah.
Look lovely on there.
And the point is, of course, that you're cutting through parchment and paper at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's how you can really intensify the colour.
You can. Because it's all about sort of getting the layers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look at this one. Okay, because I thought this was nice because there's a couple of techniques on here
Okay.
that we haven't looked at for a while.
Do you need me to do anything apart from fan your brow?
No, we're all fine. Okay, look, this is how good Linda is. Post-it notes, everything else. So we're going to start off with a piece of clear parchment.
What size is that then?
This was A4. Linda's cut it down. Linda tends to work with A4 and just cuts it down smaller.
All right.
So we've got the A4 parchment on the show.
You give me the post-its and then I can read it.
Right. But what we're going to do first, step one I took off. There's step one just there.
Right.
Okay, because I wrote down Frilly. I kept forgetting the name, Frilly Lace Framer, so I had that in front of me.
Frilly Lace Framer.
I know, a bit of
not easy,
mouthful.
Is it?
Okay, so the first step, Linda's cut a piece down to size. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're actually going to dorso the background. So you can see here we've got a lovely blend of colour. If I bring this up to the camera, it goes from the pinks into blues and into greens.
So now I thought that you'd used rainbow parchment.
No, because that lovely pastel colour we no longer have. Okay, so this is where you can create your own. So you have choices. You could either use the Dorso crayons to do that, how it was done traditionally, or you could use the percoliner pencils.
You do this before you cut it out with the die?
Before you cut it out. So you're going to apply your colour first.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring in the Dorso crayons. So we've got the lively ones on the show. We've also got the natural colours, but we're going to go soft and pastel. Okay, these are my well-loved ones.
I like them. I know you're not going to use them, but I do like these natural
They're
colours.
quite nice with the sort of the neutrals, not used as much.
No, I can see that. But they're lovely.
They are nice. It's
they're
a nice colour.
my kind of flavour.
So the item for those is 70062.
They're lovely, aren't they? Just saying.
Yeah, because you've got different greens.
Look
in
what
there.
I'm wearing. Look, clues in the coat. Look.
Yeah, there we go. That's that colour. Those colour. Yeah,
nice. Okay, but we're going with the lively.
We're going with the lively. Okay, so what we need to do for the traditional dorsing technique is we need to wipe the parchment first with some dorso oil. So what we're doing is putting like a base layer down.
Would you put a bit of copy paper under that first so that we can see the colours?
I'm going to show you because what I've done, I found earlier, if I put the dorso oil on now and I started to work on it, the colour lifted off quite quickly.
Oh, did it?
Okay, so I tested this, and what I did was I put a layer of dorso oil on first. So that's been drying for about half an hour.
You've already done that?
That's already done, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it on another piece of parchment. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the spot and sponges. Now this comes in the Colour Essentials kit, okay, which is just on that little stool to your left.
Oh.
Okay, now this is a great essential kit. Okay, because in there you've got your dorso oil, you've got your spot on sponges.
70431. Look, she's quick.
I know.
So what we've got in there? We've got a mixed mat.
Two mixed mats, one for water and one for oil. Okay. You've got your spot on sponges.
Well, let's just have a look.
Dorso oil.
Mixed mat, dorso oil, blend. Muy importante.
Definitely. You double-ended eraser.
So all that is number 70431.
Yeah.
And what are we going to use? The spot on sponge.
So I'm going to use the spot on sponges and the dorso oil.
I think we're getting quite good at this, you know.
Yeah, I think we'll get there.
Let me just put this back in the bag then.
Okie dokie. Okay, and then the other essentially is a tissue. Bless you. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the tissue. I'm just folding it in half, like so. And we're going to create like, not a funnel. We're going to fold it over so we create like a cone effect. Okay, like so, like a piping bag. And then, rather than take my dorso oil straight to the tissue would just soak it all up. So this is where the spot on sponge comes into play. You're going to put some on there. Okay, take your tissue that you have folded carefully. Dab into there, and that's already soaked up quite a lot.
This is hard.
Yep, so on the, but when I go on here, can you see the oil? Okay.
Yeah.
And I found when I was looking at this earlier, if I did this and then applied the dorso crayon straight away,
it smears, doesn't it?
It didn't really, as I was trying to blend it, it was just coming straight
around.
off.
Yeah. Got you.
Okay. So that's what I've done. So, I mean,
how long do you leave it?
I'd say 5-10 minutes, depends on the temperature in your room.
Okay. It doesn't evaporate then?
No, I mean, you can't see that there's been any on there. So it doesn't, despite the fact parchment doesn't like moisture, oil it seems okay with.
But you've only done it on the one side?
Just on the one side.
So now you've got to know which side, haven't you?
Yes. So I made sure I put the Post-it note on this side when I handed that off to you. Okay, like so. So what we're going to do now is, I know the overhead camera will go, so I'm going to choose
I quite
the
like
colours.
the presenting thing.
It's nice, isn't
yeah,
it?
look, I think I'll sit down.
Have a pew.
Yeah, go on, off you go.
Thanks.
You crack on.
Okay, so let's go for the green. Now, if you go on like the B pencils, if you go on really heavy, it's going to be harder to blend out. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to go on very, very lightly. I'm going to put some white paper on underneath in a moment.
Do you want me to go and get you a bit?
I've got some just here, because I know the overhead goes out of focus when I was doing this earlier.
All right.
So if I bring the copy paper in now, you can see how I've then scribbled
a bit of green.
The green on there. So I'm now going to take another tissue, fold it back up into that position again. I'm not going to use the one that I used to wipe the parchment because it's still got too much oil on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do is fold that up again. And now we're going to start to blend.
Oh, and you're not dry
this
tissue.
Is a dry tissue, because if I put more oil on here.
Check out the amount that comes off.
Yeah.
Got you. So if you put more oil on, just lift it all off again.
Yeah, absolutely. So then all you're going to do now is just working in a circular motion.
Who told you this?
I'm sure I've seen Linda do. I learned, well, I didn't learn. I was trying this earlier thinking, right, we're going to do some door sewing. And because the parchment wasn't wet, but it hadn't evaporated fully. And then what we're going to do is we just sort of take the time and we just blend in that colour.
Right, so a thin layer of Dorso oil first, just to recap. Let that dry.
Yeah,
then
5-10 minutes.
Then a little bit of and then dry blend.
Dry blend it, yes.
Dry blend with the tissue. If you use the blending nibs, it would take too long.
It would, yeah.
But if you were doing tiny areas, then for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. That's what they were intended for, weren't they, in smaller areas?
Yes.
And then what you can do, so if I take some blue, for example, and go on.
I bet you could blend the colours as well, couldn't you?
Yep,
so now you're going to get a nice tealy colour.
Yeah. And then if you find that it doesn't move so well,
just use a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit
of Dorso oil, right?
Oil, yeah.
So now, for example, you probably want a tiny little bit to stop that.
Yeah. So if I bring in my spot on sponge, you've definitely got more control with the spot on sponge as your applicator.
Of course.
But just touching it very, very lightly.
Not that lightly, then.
Not that lightly. Okay. Right, if I soak that into there, like so,
now. It'll work. Yeah, that's better.
See, but what it's doing, it's coming off. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but you really are going for it,
yeah.
aren't you?
Okay.
There's an exaggeration.
And you can see the moisture on there. So the Dorso oil is also a good way of removing colours in larger areas if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That's been used with the pencils, because you can do this technique with the B pencils as well.
Cool.
So it's all about sort of just creating that blend. Now, to intensify the colour, I would say you probably leave that for another 5 or 10 minutes, and you can go back on again. Now, Jane Telford gave me a really good technique when trying to build up the depth. So if I go back on again, okay, really technical this is. Okay.
Finger.
Your finger.
Yeah.
So what you do, see the difference now?
Yeah. Just
so I've now got green fingers. But it is another way of just building up the intensity. If you want to get that deepness and richness of colour quite quickly, you haven't got time to leave it, then that's another way of doing it. Okay. So that shows how you can use the Dorso crayon. You can mix the colours as well. You can scribble them out onto your mix mat that comes in that Colour Essentials kit, and use your blending nibs for smaller areas to pick up the colour.
Brilliant.
Okay. So once you've created your blend of colour, just like Linda has done here, this is when you then use those doodle dies.
All right.
So this is the front. Now this is the back. So it's more intense on the back. And it's not completely smooth in relation to, you can still see sort of some lines of the, if I bring this up, you can see there, Okay, so you've got the green, you've got the blue and the pink, because what it is, it's the overall picture we're looking for.
Yeah, okay. And the doodle dies, here they are. Okay.
So that's using the heart one. We've got 4 different designs.
So this is 31387.
Yeah.
And this is using the panel. Remember yesterday we were talking about just using the panel. So in order to get the panel size, all you've got to do is just, so it's the largest one.
Yeah.
I bet Linda cut this out with a bit of paper at the same time.
Of course she did.
Yeah, I taught her well.
You did.
So you see, you cut out the card and the parchment at the same time.
And also what that does, it protects the parchment as well.
It stops the parchment from tearing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially with the edges.
And also it intensifies the color. I mean, check this out. Look.
Yeah, it looks flat.
Yeah, so she's got 2 layers there, which I'm guessing is what she would have used here.
On there, yeah.
Yeah, so she's got the 2 colors there. Look, there's the white under there.
There's the white underneath.
Yeah,
and then if you use some of our companion papers, for example, if I bring that in, it gives it a different look.
Yeah, yeah. See? Look at that.
Definitely on white.
Yeah, but it does look lovely. So there are those doodle dies that we were harping on about yesterday. Different designs. Linda's gone to the hearts.
She's obviously in a loving mode when she's coming to work with this collection. Okay, so now we've done our die cutting. We can now add in the design.
Okay.
So this is where the Groovi plates come into play. So I'm going to take my plate mate that comes in the starter kit. Now, when we're looking at the plates, the larger plates in the collection sit perfectly within the aperture of the plate mate. Okay, and what that means is, for example, if I go on here, say I took the plate on its own and I put it on there, I've got nowhere to secure it.
That's right. That's why we need the starter kit.
Yeah.
And we can see here Jazz has put up the whole starter kit, the deluxe Groovi plate. If you want to get in on this, you'll see here there is a £31 savings on this starter kit. The product code is 42144. We're obviously encouraging you to join us on this Groovi journey. And the retail price now, the sale price, £63.89. And that does not include your club discount. So if you were thinking of joining the club, I'm telling you, there's never been a better time for you or us.
Yeah. And I mean, that £31 saving reflects 31 years of clarity.
Aww.
So, and it was just a nice way of sort of celebrating clarity and our friends at home.
And I don't feel a day over 30.
You don't look it. Right.
Correct answer.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to work on the back where we've applied the colour.
You can tell what's the back as well from the way you've cut it.
Yes, so on the front it's nice and smooth, and where it's cut through, it's not rough. Yeah, but you can definitely feel where it's pushed through into the parchment. So then what we do is we position our piece of parchment into place like so, and now we can decide which frame we want to go for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Linda's
gone for the largest one.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So she's got room for these.
Yes, absolutely. But if we have a look at this piece in here, if I bring this up to the camera, see the little pattern in the middle? Okay, so what Linda's done is she's created the division between the outer part, and it's all on the plate. It's there for you already.
But if you didn't want to make a huge card like this, right, I'm just being the devil's advocate now. If you didn't want to make a huge card like that, you could go to this pre-cut, right, and you could take your die, you could do exactly the same thing, but instead of doing that die, you'd cut the panel, you'd go to a smaller one of these.
Which is what Linda's done on the little toppers.
Right.
Let me just find those for you.
Yeah, and then you would take, there you go.
There we go.
So if you go to this, right, so that one is that one there.
Yeah.
But Linda, you could have taken, let's say, this one.
Yeah.
Right, and cut your thing into 4, cut your background into 4, and made 4 cards out of this. You know, you could if you make to sell.
Yes.
Then this is a fantastic way to go. If I was making to sell, I would sell 4 of them over one of them.
Yes, definitely.
Just saying.
And it's nice because you've got the little artwork from Linda in that mini sampler. I mean, that just on a card.
Doesn't that look lovely?
Doesn't need much else.
You don't.
Maybe the embedders.
There's an echo in there.
Embedders around the outside. Okay, so let's do some tracing out. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to position that centrally to my design. I'm going to use my Groovi tabs to hold my parchment in place whilst I work. Okay, like so.
And they stick no problem despite the oil?
Despite the oil, because we've put like a layer of crayon on top. And then I'm going to use my Groovi guard. Because I've got the heat in my hand, especially because we've used the dorsal crayon, the heat from my hand could lift off the colour.
Sure.
So we've got that like so. I'm going to put my glasses on and take my number 1 tool. Okay.
This is an invaluable piece of kit.
It is.
And the code. And now it's on the screen. 40345. Beautiful piece of kit. Just stops your hot hands, doesn't it?
It really does. And if you've got, I mean, we've all got natural oils in our hands as well. So I'm going to take the number 1 tool. And all I'm going to do now is push into the groove. If I jump out, nothing happens. So we're going to do all the little scallops.
You know, we were talking about earlier though, so you're using the number 1 tool because we're going to apply colour.
Yes.
Okay, but this is where I was saying, for those of you who are new to parchment, if you wanted to do white work, then you just flip that tool, wouldn't you?
I would go, personally, I would go with the number 3 tool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a comparison then. If I go with the number 2 tool, so we're getting
so you see it's softer
larger
now
with the balls, so to speak.
Right, so especially with the little dotty ones.
Yes.
Because they are white, see, so you might want to.
So then if I go to the number 3 tool and go again, now because the ball's larger, it's easier for it to fall out of the groove. So you just take your time, like so.
But if you're starting out, the number 2 tool do the job. And what I think as well is, if you're going to combine number 1 and number 2, I personally think it's always good to do the number 2 first.
Yes.
Because then you can always go back over the number 1, but you can't undo a number 2.
Absolutely right.
It's true.
It is. Yeah.
You can't undo a number 1. Once you've done a number 1.
There we go.
Once you've done a number 1.
No, it is because you've made it more prominent.
You can't make it soft once you've made it hard.
Stop. Right, so let me bring this up to the screen. You're going to get us taken off air. Okay, but it's our channel. So this is the number 1. And then moving along, you can see there, that's 2. And then finally, that's 3. So you can see the difference in the brightness. And as you rightly said, Bob, if you wanted to go and add colour in and you're new to it, then just trace out the number 1.
Yeah.
And then if you want to look at your white work, then, I mean, depending on your eyesight, see, this is where the light panel would really come into play. I would go number 4 to get even softer. Okay, so let's jump to another piece that Linda has very kind. I want to talk through this part here.
Okay,
there's like little smiley faces. Let me bring this up to the there. It's like a little smiley face. Okay, so where have these elements come from? So if we take it back to the plate, like so, if I turn it over and flip it over onto the back, Linda has just taken that central row right in the middle. That's all it is.
Oh, look.
Okay. And it's sort of like a chevron type of effect, isn't it?
All the way in.
Yeah.
And it gets smaller as it goes into the centre as well.
And what that does is it automatically creates your quartet of panels.
That's good, isn't it?
Okay. So this is where you now have choices. You could, if you wanted to, take your little plate and go directly in the middle onto the parchment. But what Linda's done, she's taken, this is on a separate layer because she's then used that die to matte and layer onto to add a little bit more depth.
Yeah, okay. So she's just taken the smaller die and cut 4/4 out.
Yes.
Nice.
So we can see how that's been created there. So now I want to jump to the smaller plate. So if I take this out from here, from the plate mate, and I take the smaller plate and I pop it in there, see how it moves around?
Yes,
so I've got nowhere
that,
to take my parchment. I'm not going to do it on this, but if I wanted to just go directly in there, maybe you want to do, but there's, again, I've got holes, I've got gaps that I'm likely to it. So in the starter kit, you get, look, all these Groovi tabs, you get your adapter plate or your collar, your inset plate. That now goes into there. So it's all about the modular system.
Good.
So if I wanted to take this piece and go, I could put 4 squares in there if I wanted to. I've now got somewhere for it to attach to. Okay. But what Linda did, she created separate pieces. Okay. Posted. I've got to try and put these all back together. Okay. Right. So if you take, you could do this on a scrap of parchment. Okay. And you decide which one. We just want some squares at this point.
You just got to give it enough of an outer edge to be able to cut out the die.
Yes.
Die cut the box.
That's right. So you could have one that like a template or a die just to position over the top.
So we're going to take the die.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure we got the right one.
Is it that one? Second one, I think.
That's it.
Yeah. So you can see there.
So we're taking the die out of there.
Yeah.
And that's your guide now.
So you can see there if I
double check, make sure that'll fit nicely in there.
That's it.
Okay, so that's the one.
So I know I need to leave enough space.
That's it.
Around. So if I take my Groovi tabs and attach my parchment like so, I need my tumble dry sheet, and I'm just going to wipe in the middle area. I'm not worried about going onto the plate. I'm just sticking onto the parchment like so. Then, where's my Groovi guard gone? This is where you need more than one.
I've got dozens.
Okay. I'm going to go with the number 1 tool and trace out just a square. This square could be filled with anything.
Letter?
Yeah. Yeah, you could use it as the letter boxes from the plate mate, couldn't you? They'd fit lovely in there. And I'll just go with this one particular flower, and just for ease, I'm just going to trace out exactly as it comes. Okay, I'm going to do everything with the number 1 tool. Linda's, when she's traced out the daisies, she's used the number 1 and number 2 tool to create the white work.
I think, can I look?
Yeah.
You look. She's used the number 2 tool.
2 tool, yeah.
If I come in here.
So on the daisy.
Hang on a minute. Look.
There we go.
See that?
On the daisy.
She's gone with the number 2 tool.
Yeah.
Same principle as the outer ring to get that soft graduation.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just using the, it looks like a cornflower.
But it's not really, I mean, what we're talking about here is not that hard.
No.
Is it? And because it's little tiny bite-sized pieces on this plate, it's so, it's achievable, because you look at it and you think, you know, if you, some of the artwork is so huge and you think, I'm never going to be able to complete this.
No.
But when you're looking at little tiny inches, little tiny inch boxes like that, you think, well, if it goes wrong, I haven't lost a fortnight, have I?
No, exactly. And the great thing is, these are a nice way to practice different skills as well.
Yeah. And then look, so on that plate.
Yeah.
Where's the square plate then?
Square plate's here.
Yeah.
So then you swap.
You look.
So if I now take,
because that's what makes it, is the little.
Yeah, is that it's a frame within a frame, just like yesterday where you was using the embedders.
Yeah. So now we're using this nested plate. Isn't that lovely?
I'm sure Linda designed it this way so that these would fit just inside like so. Okay.
Isn't that gorgeous? Hers look different to yours. I know why.
Because it's not that square. So you've got the square. If you've just gone for the pear, I was just testing. If you go for the square, then you get both of those. You could use the square within there. Let me trace this one out here just to show the difference.
Yeah. Because what Linda's done is she's used
taken the circular one.
No, the square one. No, is that a circular one?
That's a circular one.
Yeah, she's used the circular one, which ends up looking pretty square in the middle.
Yeah.
Look, see? Just as it comes there. Isn't that lovely?
So you've got different options. And if you've gone for the collection, then you can really play around with different shapes.
Because it fits perfectly but it's different to what Linda's done on this one. So you could mix and match it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
As well, especially if you were making cards to sell, say.
Yes.
These would be so doable.
Okay, so let's.
Or if you're doing it on the box, if you were doing the size of the box,
like that. So if I turn that over now,
so let's have a look at that one and compare it with that one. Look at that.
There we go. And I reckon
it's coming a bit tighter. Shall I? Oh, stay there. Don't go anywhere. Boom. Look at that. See?
There we go. So you've got the frame there from the circle one. This is from the square one. And I'm sure if I was to lay that underneath there,
that'll fit like a charm.
It fits in there as well.
Yeah. Smashing. Keep your eye on the screen.
There we go.
There we are.
So you've got choices. If you've gone for the complete collection,
you've
got the square and the circle to be able to do that.
That's smashing, Paul, isn't it? Well done. So that sounded patronising, didn't it? Sorry. Very well done, Paul.
But also, when you look at this plate here, these corners are really, because really these corners here is what Linda's done to create this little sort of tag.
Love that.
And this reminds me of sort of old-fashioned plaque type.
If you took away all that,
yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, Linda. Linda's going, oh, that took me a fortnight. I know, love, I know. But look, that there.
Yeah.
Right. And then you turn it round and it's literally mirrored. It's just the same thing twice. Right. But what a beautiful little, it looks like a cigar band, you know. Wouldn't that look glorious?
So, for example, there's what Linda has done on this one.
Yep.
As you said. So you trace out like so. And then you flip it round.
Yeah.
And you join it up like so.
And that's smashing.
And you've got a really nice little panel.
Really nice.
This would also work lovely for the alphabet as well. You could put letters in there.
Yeah, really lovely.
So you could do a row.
Little plaques.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know what I mean? If that were a little, like what Linda's done here.
Yeah.
And then you had a little band. And you could use, of course, you could use this along there.
Yeah,
you know,
you
that
could use
idea
that to create the effect.
Trick that where you did the bottom and the top together to make a beautiful band, wouldn't it?
So so you would start in your middle-ish with your little panel, and then take the straight one, the square, to create that.
And there's there's the one that you used.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? And then that's the one that Linda used
in the circle.
Yeah. Smash it. So much mix and matchability.
There really is.
Paul.
It's literally just the tip of the iceberg that we're covering. Really.
Well done. That's Jane Telford. Yeah.
These little flowers.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Really, really nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So it's 3 o'clock, my dear.
Right. I mean, basically.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I think we've sort of had a look at that. It was more about sort of the colouring, really, using the Dorso crayons and the pencils to create your lovely backgrounds.
Yeah.
How you can go from using number 1, 2, 3, and 4 tool to get the different levels of brightness on the white line art, and then how Linda's come up with it, and then using our doodle dies, because traditionally Parchers never used dies, did they?
No.
So when we launched the Pico dies, they actually were a real game changer.
Yeah.
And now when we see from the artwork from the design team, and they're using the doodle dies, they're using the nested dies just to create their pieces of artwork.
I remember it well when we brought out the doodle dies. Do you remember how many machines we sold? It went berserk because traditionally Parchers didn't do dies.
No.
But then they looked at the doodle, the Pico dies, and they said, well, I've got to buy the machine in order to be able to do this. And they weighed it up and went, yep, no contest, we're doing it. Yeah,
absolutely, because you want to concentrate on the artwork in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
And so for me, it was a no-brainer, really.
Well, thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you to Linda.
Yeah, and many thanks to Linda for designing these beautiful plates.
Yep.
For giving us the inspiration, for teaching us what we're actually doing. Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
you know, where would we be without Linda Williams?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you've enjoyed this hour with Paul and myself. One more, just a little recap. You can see on the screen here. It's number 42405 for the entire bundle. If you'd like to save £9, then I would say that's the way to go. The interchangeability of these plates is quite something. So do enjoy. And if you go to the website, you're bound to see lots of artwork loaded up against the products as well. So you can go in and take your inspiration from
And our design team, they share all their artwork on Groovi Worldwide and Facebook and
Pergamano Worldwide.
Yeah, Pergamano Worldwide as well.
So do join those groups if you're not in those groups. And if you're in other groups, do us a favor, hop over there, share what we're doing here on Clarity Live, on our social TV here. We would appreciate the support.
Yeah, definitely.
So when are we back, Paul?
Okay, so Thursday evening, we're back in the shack at 7 o'clock.
Back in the shack. What are we doing in the shack?
We're on the Nativity.
Oh, yeah, Nativity.
Nativity.
I've forgotten that. Yeah, that's right. We're on the... D for donkey.
Stable.
We're on the S for stable. Yeah.
S for star. And you may have a little sneaky peek.
Oh yeah. By then I'll have all the prototypes ready to show you.
Yeah.
And so then on Friday, it's a real proper adventure.
10 and 2.
10 and 2.
10 and 2.
And we're going to be bringing you 'Twas the Night with a different spin on it.
Yeah.
Really nice. 'Twas the night before Christmas. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. So that'll be really lovely.
And it's a new adventure.
It's a new adventure.
On Friday.
There you go. So join us on Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it's Bill and Bob.
Bill and Ben.
on Friday.
Friday, yes.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks, Jazz, for working in the gallery so perfectly. And we will see you soon.
Bye
bye now. Bye bye.